Hello, hello. Today's agenda is, as some of you have requested, at least Sasa has, watching some old 4 and 4 demos of Dag, the legendary player. I was going to say 4 and 4 player, but of course he's a legendary all-round player from, well, for example, from Lega Artis, as we see here. So I have about an hour, maybe a bit more than an hour. Maybe I will be able to squeeze in 4 rounds of 4 and 4, especially if I skip some parts. But the first map we are going to spectate is CMF versus Lege Artis. I think this is from Smackdown 5 Europe semifinal. And I believe this is map number 4. At this point, LA is leading 2-1 in maps. Okay, without further ado, let's see that my sound works and let's go. Maybe set player. Yeah, Jag. Okay. Okay, let's see. And team overlay on. Jag spawns mid. Here already. Why he didn't go quad low? I wouldn't know. That is a strange decision. Doesn't make any sense for him to come this way. Sure, he maybe gets this red. Okay, he does. Maybe gets a bit lucky there. But he definitely should have gone to quad low with the first yellow at center. Let's see how things develop from here. He didn't have the stack to get the low rocket, his teammates did. So that was fine. Now he gets the tele. Okay, I would have shot that guy at tele with SG there, but fine, not a huge mistake. He was able to steal the tele and he should be getting this high rocket or quad, depends. Okay, he takes the quad, goes to high rocket just as he should. Nubba steals it. Not perfect. But okay, so far things look very good for LA. 3-1 in rockets. Okay, there's a rocket guy, Fifi, hiding with his rocket at Red Mega. Whoa. Okay. Fair play. I have no idea why Fifi just didn't give up. He had 0 rockets apparently. He should have just run. But he didn't. Nice. That was a solid quad run considering that he only had SG. Managed to kill a rocket guy, although that wasn't only Doug's good performance, but I think Fifi didn't really play well there. Okay, preparing for the squad, loses the fight. Okay. If we look at that fight very quickly, it seemed like he wasn't quite ready for this rocket jump. That's a relatively easy rocket to hit, but he lets Fifi get up there and, well, that's enemy quad. Let's see, this is a bit wasted by the quad he just lost. Now he should push for low rocket, definitely. I don't know who the Skeletor guy is, but if you look at this moment here, Skeletor is at low rocket, with rocket already. Dag hears that he is getting frags with rocket, and he should know that low rocket is about to spawn, and he's not really reacting to the situation, not going for the low rocket, staying at red mega instead, which just doesn't make sense. Just a second, I will check my chat so I can see it. Alright, let's continue. Now he has the timing of low rocket, definitely. And he goes for quad, interestingly enough. Again, with just SG. At this point, I would say that it's much more important for his teammates to go for a quad, and he should be at low rocket. It's just... It's so unlikely that you will be getting these quads with SG. Okay, he did again, even though they had a rocket guy there as well. I don't know why Dak would be standing there on quad with just SG when they have a rocket guy there. Albeit being a bit weak rocket guy, but Dak ended up going down without being able to do anything with the SG quad. Again, low rocket is spawning and he's not there. Maybe it's a timing issue in the team in general, not only a DAG issue here. But they are bleeding those low rockets. And as you see, high rocket is spawning now, and he was there maybe 15-20 seconds ago waiting for it. And again, low rocket is spawning now and is not going in that direction. Opts to go for GL instead. Now kills the enemy quad. That's well played. And gets it back as well. Wow. That looked strange. How did I think it was Jin who dropped the pack. Quite peculiar. No, he's... Again, low rocket. Check. Low rocket is about to spawn. Dag has a monster stack here at NG. And the enemy has only one rocket at low rocket. And no one is pushing it. Well, no, sorry. Skeletor is. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. So, this is fine. Dag decides to stay at NG. Skeletor kills someone at low. Interestingly enough, the CMF took the low rocket, but Skeletor still somehow was able to survive. Even though he was at low with a rocket as well. This is fine. Now I want to see some aggressive play towards low rocket. Against the next low rocket as well. But that is the quad guy's job. There's some telecontrol. Not much to say here. Rocket jump on teammate's face, nothing better. Okay, now he's preparing for quad. I hope he gets it, so we actually get to see a DAG quad run. Kills a teammate, gets a quad. He's an extremely slow playstyle. Holy shit, this is slow. He's not even jumping anywhere. He's more like the tree people in Lord of the Rings. Just like Gamer. Okay. Gets the low rocket. Picks it up. Leaves. It's not like he made any big mistakes. He took the low rocket, which is kind of the priority number one. But he really didn't make any big differences either. There were 3 enemy rockets when he was running that quad, and when you take the quad, you also should be taking the responsibility to make the difference. He picks up the next quad as well. Now he's a bit weaker, so now I would understand a bit slower play. He kills an enemy rocket, which is nice, but I think he's going down, yeah. Nothing really exceptional there either. I would say that he should have survived there, when after killing the first and only rocket, he didn't do very well against the two SG guys. It really was survivable for him. Okay, a strange place to try for a boost when NG wasn't safe. You don't want to risk losing a lot of stack in a situation like that when you have a rocket already. He should have, in my opinion, abandoned the SG guy there under the quad. Okay, going for this quad. I have a feeling that he's going down, and he is. Jin, an old Quake friend of mine, wastes him. And now he's stuck with no rocket once again. Good morning, everyone. Watching some old DAG demo here. This is the Smackdown 5 Europe semi-final against CMF. And unfortunately, I don't remember the player named Zita. Apparently a Finn, because you played in Kokkola. Can't remember, sorry. But that's a great prize, Voodoo 2. Holy shit, I would have loved to have won that one in year 2000. Or early 2000s, that would have been amazing. No way! Did you see what happened? What is happening there? Skeletor had 0 rockets, and he was just standing there, staring at Dag. I would love to understand what happened there. Maybe he was trying to bore and just didn't have the rockets to do so, but on the other hand, Dag was super low on stack and Skeletor was staring at him. He couldn't have bored there. Nice SG percentage there, I think, in that fight at least. Let's see after the game how his stats look like. So far, I have to say that I haven't seen anything very special from Dag. His quad runs have been really mediocre, and quite a few questionable decisions as well. Here also just wasting a bit of time there at Telly with SG, it doesn't make any sense. Also, just LA is making quite a bit of mistakes. There, for example, Skeletor stealing the GL as well. Perhaps he needed the rockets, he wanted the Mega, that's fine, but leave the GL to Dag. Now, Dag got the high rocket, so it wasn't a huge mistake, but just minor things like that. And there again, losing that fight, that was just really bad. First of all, he was positioned in a horrible way. You don't want to stay down there at Telly when NG is not under control. You want to be higher so you can prepare for the fights better. So very bad positioning there, and the fight was horrible. Maybe he was a bit unlucky flying straight to lava, but still not well played. Here he should be dying, and drops a pack as well. That was a risky rocket, but I can't really blame him for it that much. Although, looking at the score, and of course, hindsight 2020, very easy to say now, but a crucial pack. But that happens sometimes. That is Quake for you. Okay, goes for the red box. Okay, Skeletor will take it from him. Staying here with him, which is reasonable. He doesn't want to open the red box. And if Skeletor dies and drops a pack, then Dag could bring it up, take it. Okay, now this looks horrible for LA. 4-0 rockets for CMF. So here, if Dag doesn't get anything done, I'm not blaming him. It's a really bad situation for the team. Now to CMF. Okay, they lose the rocket. Someone should push low rocket, definitely. High rocket is about to spawn. It is up, probably. Dag trying to squeeze Jin. Not succeeding. 2 CMF guys at tele. This looks like a washing machine. Okay, will LA be able to get the low rocket here? They did, which is... I have a feeling that CMF actually loses this game, and if they do, then this is the moment that they can blame for it. The enemy was with 0 rockets for quite a while, CMF with 4 rockets and quad, and they didn't even try. I remember that LA used... Oh, losing that rocket was huge. I remember that LA liked to play this way. By the way, why did... was it Striker who took the rocket? Oh no, it was Skeletor. Well, Dag had the better stack for sure. I don't know why they did that. So anyway, I was about to say that I remember LA playing, especially DM2, very slowly, but I didn't remember CMF doing it so much. Because there, that was definitely a mistake. Hello, hello, A-Social. We're watching some Dag demos here. I have roughly an hour to do so. And this has been requested, so let's see. There kills a teammate. But he was in the right to fall back. Enemy quad was attacking, and I'm sure he was happy to survive that quad attack. But the reason, by the way, why I'm watching these demos is that I requested some top 3 players of all time from different players, and many people, especially Swedish people, said Dag as one of their top 3 players, if not top 1 player. And while he won many tournaments, I never thought... I personally didn't think that he was much of a 4-on-4 player. But here we are. We are about to find out how his 4-on-4 game looks like. And so far, I have to say that I'm really not impressed. This is actually... Well, I handpicked a demo where he didn't do very well. And the next 3 demos are demos that I have no idea how Dag personally does there. I know the end result of the game, but I haven't seen any screenshots, so I don't know how Dag does in those demos. So that will be perhaps more interesting. I actually really am looking forward to those games. A very, very interesting playstyle so far. For example, there, that game... that just didn't make any sense. Staying there in the corner with SSG yellow, or it can make some sense, but the end result was way better than it ever should have been. There's absolutely no way it should have worked out that way, that he kills enemy quad with SSG yellow and gets a pack. Fair enough. I can't really fault him for it, because that actually might decide the game there. But that is just something that never should have happened, and there's no way for him to have seen it beforehand. Nice, I'm on all the screens at the gym. That sounds sweet. I hope you're having a good gym session. Okay. Challenging the quad. I don't like that decision. Just challenging quad. Well, they had maybe the rockets to spare, but in general, you are much better off attacking quad area before the quad spawns. And then if enemy gets the quad, you usually want to fall back and hide unless you are really, really sure that the enemy quad is weak. Okay, let's see. One more dag rocket at least. He gets red. Okay. It's actually attacking quad. Nice. This is what I like to see. The rocket jumps up, eats a bit of damage, and loses fight at NG. Also not very impressed by that play. He didn't fight well. And again, a pack. Okay, at least the pack was killed. CMF is not playing very well with the packs either. But yeah, when he attacked towards quad position, he probably should have stayed at high. And when he took the fight at NG, I don't think he fought very well there. Now, seeing this, I would love to see some modern Division 1, but even modern Division 2 teams play against these teams, because this looks so much more different from modern 4-on-4 playstyle than I expected. This is not at all what I expected to see. Okay, Dan gets the high rocket. He was where he was supposed to be. This was also more difficult to concentrate on DAG only than I expected. It's very difficult for me to ignore what is happening elsewhere in the map. So there we have it. LA ended up winning 186 to 167 and the series 3-1. And this was the last game Dag played in Smackdown 5. For some reason, he didn't play in the final against Slackers. Maybe LA thought that he wasn't the fourth or within the top 4 of their team. Damn. This is an old server that doesn't show us individual stats. That is very unfortunate. The only thing we can see that Dag was minus 20, 40% efficiency and 4 team kills. That is sad. It would be great to have more detailed stats, but can't change it. Or I could change it. There are demo parsers that would extract the stats even of old demos, I think, as long as they're MVDs. All in all, not impressed so far. But admittedly, that was one of the worst performances I could find. Just looking at the screenshots because I haven't looked through these demos beforehand. And just a second, I will download one more demo here. Hope I didn't lose it. Nope. They are here. No, wait. Where did it go? It says that I have downloaded it, but I can't find it. Okay, I have them here. Now I have no idea in which order these maps were played, but this is Q8 6 group game, or no, actually there were no groups. This is a bracket game. This might be the first game LA played. It's against GGG, Griffin's Tabra Gossar. Okay, it doesn't want to play the demo. It could be because of the dots in the file name. This is always annoying in Windows. And now that I say it, I'm not actually sure if demos with dots in the file names work even in Linux, but come on. Yes, it works. And Dag is playing. That is another thing I was a bit worried about. I didn't know if Dag played in this game at all. Okay. He goes for the trick. This is good. Totally. I thought that he went for the trick, but maybe he didn't know about the trick. I don't know why he was standing on the cube. He didn't go for the trick. Okay. Unstairs rocket guy. Wow, Mr. Lame. So risky rocket usage there. Unbelievable that he didn't die and drop a pack. Dag is just all over the place here. He should have gone to rocket because he didn't have time to make it to second yellow. I don't know what he was thinking there. Not impressed so far. So mega trick failed, not going for second rocket. And now with this one he should go for rocket. Okay, he does, that's good. Well, that fight should have been his. He had full yellow, even though he was facing an SSG with SG, but still... well, that's not horrible, but also not impressive. Trying to kill the quad. Not much he could have done there, so we will not fault him for that. I will just speed up some sections of the demo, so I will actually have time to watch all these 3 rounds. Or maybe I don't... Well, I will do some of it. Or in some places. Here... He maybe wants to go for yellow. Against 2 rocket guys. Now he should abandon it and go for rocket. Unless he knew that rocket was safe, then we were going to quad is fine as well. And trying to steal the yellow. And he does, nice. Now he should save this yellow and go for rocket. Yeah. Another option would have been to wait for SSG to spawn. But this is fine. Now he will get this rocket, that's good. 1 frag in 2 minutes and 30 seconds in E1 M2. Not great. But that happens sometimes, even to the best of us. Sometimes you just have a bad start. Okay, extremely slow. Did you see that movement? Just moving like a tank, really. Not bunnying. Which is funny because it has always been said that Flaming Fist was the clan that made the game so fast. They were bunny hopping all around. Nice rocket kill there, that was good. And there you have Dag, who was part of that Flaming Fist lineup, and he's just moving like Thresh from 97. Horrible pack. Ouch. That's painful. This is Quake 1. Yeah, Kuapo, I totally agree. This looks very surprisingly bad, actually. That's why I said that I would like to see modern Division 2 clans play against, for example, this LA, and see how they did. Because I expected there to be some differences, but the differences are a lot bigger than I thought that they would be. And also, I'm not so impressed by this aim either. It's not bad, but it's nothing super exceptional. No, I don't think any of these LA players play nowadays. They have all quit. Which is of course unfortunate. That's why I said that I would love to see, but it's not gonna happen. And of course, even if they did play nowadays, then they wouldn't be at exactly this level. So that is just an imaginary game that I would love to see. Well, yeah, Riker is actually the only one who has even somewhat recently played. Hey, Dak. Wait, I want to see that again. Didn't he have full yellow and he just goes down just like that? Well, not full. 105 yellow. He gets the rocket. Okay, an annoying spawn. But going to crossing, always a risky move. I still see it today. People just jumping from rocket with a fresh rocket to crossing all the time. And then they just get wasted there. It's so unfortunate and frustrating to watch. When they could go water either way, either to bridge water or to start water and build from there. Or even just wait at rocket for a while, to kill a couple of enemies there, and then ask your teammates to make sure that crossing is safe and then go. Okay, he went for the rocket, not bad. This is again a move that should not work, sitting in the quad box that early. And it didn't. Okay, he gets green. Now that is kind of annoying when you have a teammate with full yellow. At that point I would probably just go to rocket and help the yellow guy out, just to make sure that the team gets the rocket. Because now, as you saw, the green was just wasted. Because at rocket, the good thing is that even though you can't utilize the green fully with 100 HP, at rocket you can take some SG damage and you have the 50 HP waiting there next to you, so after taking some hits you can pick up the health boxes. And then utilize the full green better, or at least most of the green. By the way, I had no idea if Dag was even in this game, and I had no idea how well he did in this game, so I definitely didn't handpick another bad Dag demo. But here we are, 8 frags, 7 minutes into the game. That is roughly a frag a minute. Of course, this could end up being an excellent Dag demo where he's just destroying the opposition, but so far it doesn't look that way. Okay, this is a reasonable decision, waiting for Waiting for the rocket here. Mr. Lame comes with yellow SNG. There's no... He had Mega as well. That's brutal. Nothing Dag could have done about that. Now trying to steal the squad away. His team. Pushing Griffin, that's a good decision. Because Nabbe was at quad with Rocket, so gotta creating some space towards GL makes sense. Didn't work out this time because Nabbe apparently lost the fight against Mr. Lame there at quad. And again, LA as a team is really out of position. Rocket just spawned and, well, perhaps they just wanted to take down Griffin at yellow as a team effort. And now Dag finally kills him, but Griffin is smart and doesn't drop a pack. Space is waiting for this rocket and he should be taking it. And Dag is staying here to help him out. That's a good decision. Not much he could have done there, really. Didn't have the stack or anything to work with to get that quad. He goes for the yellow. Will he get it? Nope. Mr. Lame is there. Yeah, it was Smackdown 5 semifinal, the last map number 4. Yeah, that was my evil pick. There I knew that Dag would be the last. Here I have no idea. This is the QH LAN 6, yeah. One of the first games LA played against GTG. And I know the end result of the game, but I have no idea how Dag does in any of the maps. Okay, finally a quad run by Dag. Nice SSG there. Proper flick shot. That could have been it. That could have been a great start for Dag's run, but he quite didn't get the SSG kill on Dag's rocket at Mega. So we will still wait for those miraculous top 1 of all time plays. Yeah, I definitely would have gone all in. Ah, nice. Griffin goes down. He gets a pack with SSG. Now we actually get to see how Dag plays with rockets in E1M2. This movement, by the way, doesn't look good. Very clunky. Nice. Dag. Oh. Okay. I wanted to see a Dag rocket yellow quad run in E1M2. And, okay, fair enough. I got to see one. It just was quite short. And here we are. Back to square 1. Okay, he got the pack. There, he could have actually shot with the rocket. There wasn't that much to lose, maybe. Maybe there was. There was an enemy following him. He would have dropped the pack and the enemy might have taken it. Okay, again, fully stacked Dag rocket. Let's go. Roughly 20 frags between the two teams. So here we need to see a miracle. Or not a miracle, but we need to see him make a difference at least. I don't like that rocket. I personally like to go for splash damage there. Or kind of secured splash damage slash direct, depending on how the enemy moves, but there will be some damage. He just shot through the narrow gap. Oh, nice. Nicely killed enemy quad. So he went very much all in, missed the rocket and didn't deal any damage. Okay, he will be getting Mega. So this looks good for Dag. He's running out of rockets though. Got the 5 rockets. I would go for SNG because he needs a secondary weapon. He only has SG and wasting a lot of rockets there. Not good. He only has 1 rocket and he has to wait for at least 10, maybe 15 seconds more for the next rockets. And yep, there he is. Kind of fucked himself by wasting those rockets there at crossing. And not taking the SNG either. You just want that SNG. I would prefer SSG, but SNG is fine too. And in many situations, SNG is actually better. But anyway, nice. And there he goes down with 0 rockets. That was his own doing. 100%. Just didn't play well. But anyway, you want that secondary weapon to be able to frag those 0-100 SG guys without wasting all your rockets. Or at least finishing off those frags, which wasn't even a possibility now because he just totally whipped the rockets. Just missed them completely, I think. Okay, Mr. Lame's squad. He almost pulled it off, just with 0-100 SSG. Had Mr. Lame missed that 1 more SG, then it could have been a frag. A good effort. Okay. Okay, they want to go together towards yellow, clearly. Okay, and I have a feeling that Space just picked up the rocket, so he doesn't want to wait for it. Just tries to help his team the best he can. But this is what I don't like. SSG was up again, and he just runs past it like some Division 3 player. Definitely not what I would like to see. SSG is so powerful compared to SG that you don't want to leave it there. And adding insult to injury there, Ermac picked it up. And he's in the opposing team. So not only did he not take it, but he left it for an enemy to pick it up. That is a nice movement that I like to use as well. Jumping at the very edge of the ramp before the water and jumping from further from there so you save some time. That is interesting to see because otherwise this movement has been a bit clunky. Not awful, but this being a fairly modern demo, I'm quite surprised. Okay, please get a rocket. No, he's not getting this rocket. 2 enemies here. No way. So far I have to say that besides SG, I would say that GL has been Dag's best weapon. Both in the previous DM2 and in this one. He has gotten nice GL kills. Also something I didn't expect to see. I know that his rocket LG is great, sorry. I don't know how his rocket is. In this one it hasn't looked anyhow exceptional. And it still doesn't. Although that was not about his rocket aim, that was just a decision-making thing. A very awkward spot to fight in the quad stairs against an SNG guy. You just have to fall back. This is definitely, yeah, without anti-lag too, but this is also a land game, so it doesn't really matter. Nice rocket kill and a pack, which is good. So no anti-lag here, but a land game. Again, Dag went down pretty easily there. But he has been doing better than in the beginning, at least. He had some runs, but still I haven't seen anything extraordinary from this guy so far. Compare to Griffin, for example, in this game. Oh, nice packet loss on LAN. Yeah, I agree that he goes to crossing very often with a fresh rocket. That is a very risky move. I think this might be his last rocket. And again, he's going to crossing. Of course, at this time, bad rockets again. 30 frags between the teams and less than a minute to go. At that point, I can excuse you for going to crossing because that is the fastest way out. And even though it's not within the realm of possibilities to come back from a 30 frag deficit in less than a minute in E1 M2, that is just not gonna happen. You still might want to make the score look at least a bit better. Okay, GDG wins 217 to 185. A close game. Player-wise, pretty much what I would expect from GDG. Griffin and Mr. Lame top fragging, and Dagath and Ermac bottom fragging. Nothing so surprising there. Also, although I have to say that Dagath did pretty okay because he only died 46 times. Dag died 64 times with 43 frags. Kind of middling performance in LA, and just watching things through his point of view, didn't see very many good things. There were a couple of rocket kills, the GL kill he got, many timing mistakes, pushing towards crossing all the time with those fresh rockets. Not great. Okay, we are going to DM3. That could be better for Dag. There's at least LG in DM3. So I'm not sure if this is map number 2. Spoiler alert, there are... Oh, let's go to Dag. There are 3 maps in this series, so... And it is best of 3. Okay. Will he go for S and G? Yes, he will. So far, so good. I would have picked up the nails, though. Take the nails. Take the nails, yes. And go for rocket. Rocket or LG? Rocket or LG? No, he doesn't care for weapons. He goes for red. Doesn't even get it, and then dies with the full Vega, basically. Somehow, unbelievably, he gets the second LG at 48. That doesn't make any sense. But he does. Dies with it, though. Again, well, helping at quad, that was perhaps a fine decision. And again, he gets rocket at 7. These timings of weapons, it just shows that both teams are playing very bad. That should never happen. Okay. Nice, he survives actually against SNG guy. That was scary. Let's see now, he has a rocket. So this is a great start compared to E1M2 for him. Although I have to say that extremely lucky start. He wasn't supposed to get that LG he got, and there's no way he should have gotten this rocket either. 7 seconds late. But now we have a fully stacked rocket Dag. It's not Dag's fault that he did get those weapons. That is just the opposing team playing well and playing horribly bad, not well. Okay, he picks up the quad, plays very conservatively as we have already seen in the previous games. Or at least in the DM2, maybe not actually in E1M2. Make sure that red is safe, that's fine, then pushes towards yellow. Leaves the yellow up and just leaves. I don't like that decision either. Why wouldn't you either score a bit, which is of course annoying with quad, to get the yellow, or save it for a mate? An excuse would have been pushing towards lift low or below lifts, where Dakoth got a pack from space, but he didn't go there, he went to red instead, and he didn't secure the weapons either. Weird decision. But he gets the next quad as well, let's see. Yeah, this is where he was supposed to be. Good, almost kills Riker's fully stacked LG. That would have been bad. And he falls back to red once again. Quite interesting. I would have stayed at yellow probably, but this is LA's playstyle. They are very conservative in many ways. In DM2 they would stack red mega until they had many rockets to work with and then attack. In DM3 they seem to prefer red side over yellow. But he's fragging well and he's not dying, so that's fine. Let's see, he has 3 deaths. Okay. Knows that there is an LG enemy there. Probably had no idea that that was the LG guy. Let's see how and if he will go for Pent. The rocket jumps up. Not a bad move. Kills an enemy rocket there. Nice. There is another one. That is dead as well. And will he get this Pent? He will. Nice. Oh, that is something I hate to see. The rocket jump script. But it was allowed when this game was played, so I guess I shouldn't criticize it too much. What's the name of the game back then? I just hate to see it. Looks so bad. But yeah, an okay Pent run, nothing exceptional, but made sure that red is safe, which is what he should do. Now somehow preparing for this next quad. He's quite early though, but is there... He doesn't have a teammate at red, but well, ring is safe, so this is good. And the situation for his team is great because the enemy doesn't have anything other than LG and GL. Now they picked up Rocket, and as a team they should be aware of this. And Griffin just killed someone with a rocket. I think it was... I'm not sure whom he killed, but he did, and he was somewhere in the bridge area, and Dak just seemed to ignore it. Holy shit, I need to close this window. Someone's cutting the grass, I think. So anyway, I was saying that it seemed strange that Dag would just ignore that enemy rocket and jump around the bridge area. Just going towards yellow that was actually empty. Okay, but I think he hasn't died, yeah. So he's still at 3 deaths. So he's doing well. Staying at SNG. What is the reason for this? Okay, because they know that red is lost. Really wants to hold on to his weapon. Let's see if he will go for a quad. It looks like it. They attack with 2 players towards quad. Where's GGG at this time? I don't quite know. Enemy actually took the quad. But the quad has no chance of attacking. So, well played, and interesting style to stay there at SNG, but maybe it made sense. Because he had a solid stack and he even got the mega before the quad. So that was good. Now just making sure that red is safe. No need to move anywhere. No need to take risks. And they have 3 rockets against 1 anyway, so this is good. Nice mid-air. Okay, now he will get a fully stacked quad. Now what I would love to see is for him to kill that enemy rocket. Going for this red is fine as well. And he does kill the enemy rocket. Nice. Exactly what I asked for. Takes away the pack. Kills enemy LG as well. Now this looks solid. Although, interestingly enough, again, not Doug's fault by any means, but the enemy weapons really came to him. He didn't have to attack them at all. He's a bit late for Pent, but he will get ring. And ring quad. That's all well and good. 18 spawn frag. Taking the Martin approach, staying at ring and spawn fragging there. And spawn frags, they are needed in 4 and 4, definitely, so not a bad move. Here, on the other hand, let's see, they don't have anyone really at bridge, or especially not at yellow, so he should have moved immediately towards yellow when the team Pent went for red. And there's again that awkward movement. Not something that you would see, for example, from Repi, who was already playing at this time. Quite awkward and clunky in many ways. and not something that I would expect to see from a player who played in the team that kind of popularized bunny hopping and became famous for being so fast. And once again, an ultra-conservative way to play with Quad Rocket especially, because he's the only weapon in his team, and he's just sitting at ring guarding red super jealousy in a super jealous way. It did work out well though, because GTG wasn't able to challenge well enough at the weapons, and Nubbe gets away with 1 HP and Rocket. Okay, now he goes down. But had I been in Dag's shoes, I would have definitely pushed towards Ridge area. But maybe he was worried about an enemy weapon that wasn't there, but of course you don't have always perfect information in 4-on-4. So maybe he was worried that an enemy weapon would push from SNG, for example, or through tunnel to red, and he just wanted to play it safe. Just a very interesting playstyle. Yeah, a very Link-like gameplay, for sure. Or Link-like approach. Nice, GL killed. Well read there. Seems like GTG are not going to be able to challenge in this one. And the next one, DM2, will be the decider then. 100 frags in less than 7 minutes, 6.5. It's difficult in DM3, especially when your opponent has 3 weapons for your 1, or now 2, but anyway, would not be easy. This is a LAN game, so I would expect them to use voice. And well, this might be 2006. You can check QH LAN 6. I'm not quite sure when it was. 2006 or 2005, I think. And people definitely were using voice in 2005. We used voice already with no skill, I think in 2002. We used Gizmo voice and Roger Wilco, so it was definitely a thing back then. CMF was famous for not using voice. They apparently just didn't like it. But I think we were one of the first teams with no skills to use voice. It was amazing that Gizmo actually offered the voice option, so everyone would just join the same Gizmo and you could create voice channels there, or maybe there weren't channels, but there was one channel, I'm not sure. And you could just join the voice through the menus and it just worked. Perfect. And it's amazing that we were able to make it work back then. Well, we were able to make it work. Well, kind of part of it was us making it work, and of course the huge part of it was that there was the option to use microphones. But it's just funny how many microphone problems people still have nowadays, if you think about business environments, for example. And 20 years later, so 20 years ago we were able to make it work in a computer game, and still in business environments people quite often struggle with their microphones and audio setups. And To be honest, I sometimes struggle with my microphone when I stream. I have it turned off or whatever. So it's funny. But back to the game. Sorry, I haven't been concentrating so much on DAG, which is the point of this stream. But if there is one takeaway from these three demos, especially the DM2 that we watched first and this DM3, is that he's extremely conservative, playing it really, really safe all the time. It can be a great thing, but especially in a modern team, there he goes, by the way, down. That was only his 5th death. So in a modern Quake World 4 and 4 Division 1 team, you couldn't have 4 players like this. It just wouldn't work. But then on the other hand, the beauty of 4 and 4 is that there is room for different play styles. You can have I think that you can still have at least one player like this and it's fine. I just don't think that a full team would work. And also, that being said, he's getting great efficiency with this style, but just like you said, saving red with quad plus rocket was really strange. Yes, I think there are things that I would call objectively mistakes, or at least suboptimal plays where someone else should have been in his place and he should have utilized the quad a lot better. Because it just doesn't make sense to play extremely defensively with quad when enemy has weapons roaming around. Dropping a pack against enemy quad. Can't fault him for that either, because it just doesn't make a difference at this time, and maybe he just wanted to go for the fancy play and kill the quad. Yeah, that's what I meant, that there is even in a modern team there would be room for a player like Dak here. But the problem is that, judging by what I have seen so far, is that Dak really likes to take quad. He seems to be, I would call, even slightly selfish when it comes to item pickups. So he's always the one, or seems to be quite often the one at least, parking on the items when there are multiple teammates around, and he's the kind of star player, picks up the items and then doesn't utilize the stacks or weapons, and especially quads, to their full potential. It's fine if you have a weapon and armor and you are being passive. That can work, but you shouldn't do that with quad. If you are that kind of player who likes to stay behind and play it extremely safe, then please leave the quad for someone else. Otherwise, I think it can really work. But if other players in his teams are the ones being very aggressive, then he shouldn't be the one taking quads. He should leave the quads for those aggressive players. But there we have it. 231, 121. DAG, top fragging, a huge efficiency. Can't fault him for that, especially playing against a team that just beat them in E1 M2, assuming that I have the map order right. 91% efficiency plus 73. Very solid. Clearly the best player on the field in this map. A very curious play style, but can't really fault him for it when it worked that well. Well played. But here, this might be the decider, or this might be the first map. I'm not sure. Or this could be even the second map if... Well, anyway, let's see. Let's assume that this is the decider. He went for the shortcut, but they didn't manage to pull it off. Enemy gets the quad. Now he should be going for red. He's pushing for Telly and manages to steal it even. That's unbelievable. But it goes down to the enemy SSG because Griffin wasn't able to pick the Telly up because of him having red, and now they are pushing for high rocket. Why is this? This just doesn't make any sense. It was just picked up. There's no way you can get the high rocket when it was just picked up. That you should have gone for armors, wait for the Telly through which you just came, or go to one of the reds, perhaps red box. That was strange, didn't make sense. Now the enemy has 3 rockets already. Very bad start for LA here. And what a great start for Griffin's team. 35-5, and they have 4 rockets to 0. Wow. Griffin. Wow. Jack had a chance to get through the Telly, and now he does. He gets the high rocket, okay, 17. And kills 1 enemy rocket. Better than nothing. Makes this awful start a bit better. Okay, 3 guys waiting for the Telly. The packs are still there. Wow. And he drops a new one. Griffin kills him. Nabbe with the quad. I'm almost tempted to go for his point of view, but let's stick to Dag. 0 frags in 2 minutes and 20 seconds so far. He should have some kind of timing for this high rocket. It was 47 when he picked it up. And this will be a long wait. Let's see if he will actually get it. Yeah. Soon. Nabbe is there as well, and he actually does get it. Let's see, Griffin is there. Oh. He's so lucky that there was a teammate at GL fighting the fight for him, because Griffin had full stack there. Unbelievable that he survived. And kept on shooting with the rocket with 4 HP as well. But ended up surviving. Okay, goes down in red box. Doesn't go for the pack, but that was a bad spawn for going for red box pack anyway. Waits for Telly, doesn't get it. No pack there. It was the rocket guy he killed earlier, I think. Yeah, 5 rockets there in the pack. So that's why he went for it. Waits for the low rocket. I wonder if they have timing for this. Based on what I'm seeing, I would imagine that they don't. And Mega would have been up, and he opts not to go for it. Wow. Unreal play there. Did he? I don't think he shot 1 rocket, and then he just decided to walk around and actually gets away without shooting another rocket. What a strange move. And why would Space take that red? It just doesn't make sense. Jag definitely needed it. Unless he's somehow idle here. Did he go to the toilet? No, he's moving. Okay. 7 rockets in the game at the moment. Get some HP here. He should fall back to red mega to take the to take the red. Now he's playing. Oh damn, that script almost makes me cry. Interesting that now he's not being as conservative and careful as... Wow. That was quite unlucky. So I was about to say that now he is not being so conservative as he was in the previous DM2 and in the DM3 we just saw. So I don't know what to make out of this. And here also, I don't like that decision. Why would you just go to box and then push towards Telly with absolutely nothing? Why wouldn't you wait for the box just to be annoying? Okay, he actually gets the quad. That's good. And Ermac. What a ballsy play. Just waltzes in with almost no stack either and kills his quad. Not a great quad run, but at the same time very unexpected attack by Ermac there, and I would criticize Ermac for that attack a bit as well. Very, very risky. Or maybe he just didn't know that enemy quad was there at center. Okay, he gets box. Now he should go for weapon. Okay, lost control of his mouse a bit there and didn't go for high rocket, which I think was up. I don't think anyone picked it up. It just spawned when he was at Telly. I would say that this almost looks as if he was tilted. He's picking stuff up and just pushing forward all the time. I might be wrong, but that's what it looks like a bit. Very lucky with the low rocket timing, I think, but then goes down to SG guys. An interesting decision as well. He picks up the low rocket. Enemy spawns there at low. He just proceeds to shoot with SG. Strange. There was an enemy behind him as well, so maybe it was for the better, but he could have tried, I think, killing the spawn and then surviving with the rocket towards red box. Gets the telly, now he needs a weapon. Just don't jump down now. Gets HP as well. Now he's in a great position to make a difference. He will get the high rocket in a second. Yes. Let's see what he does now. Now, I personally would be already preparing for quad. This holding telly at this point. I will pause just for a second. You know, they have to know, and well, you can see it on the screen. There is the death feed. You can see that the enemy has rockets. So now, what he needs to be doing is securing the next quad or high telly, high rocket. Trying to keep telly safe at this point when the enemy has 2 rockets or even a single rocket. It just doesn't make any sense unless your own team also has 3, preferably 4 rockets. Then you can be excused for holding the telly. But in this situation, it doesn't make any sense. But maybe I don't fault DAC for this because they just didn't know better, I think, in 2006 or whatever, whenever this was. Now he fell through telly, which is good. This is exactly what he needs to be doing. Preparing for the quad. That's good. And he gets the quad. And kills the high rocket. Well played. No, okay, kills a fully stacked mate with a rocket at telly. Ouch, that is painful. It doesn't make him any worse player, but just a horrible mistake. But those things happen. Now being extremely careful with this. Don't tell me that Griffin had a rocket. No, he doesn't. Okay. That would have been a horrible push by him, but... Yeah, so... Again, a quad run where he was just sitting at NG getting frags. This time he didn't have the stack and he kind of tried to push towards path. So he can be excused for that, but still I would love to see someone else pick up these quads if he's not either stacked enough to attack or just not willing to attack. And okay, an interesting bug. The rocket is stuck in the wall. He ran out of rockets a bit, but a lot of missed rockets as well, so... Kind of mixed bag there. Not great play by him, but also unfortunate that he ran out of rockets and wasn't able to defend against the rocket guy anymore. We are almost 11 minutes into the game and he's bottom fragging. He has less than half of the frags of Riker, for example. And he seems to be the dedicated telly guy, sitting at telly low as well, which is very unoptimal position to hold a telly at, unless you have very secure NG, which they haven't had in many places. Okay. Just... I will pause. There's no one here. No one holding NG. And he's just sitting at telly low. This doesn't make sense. He needs to be here. Be more proactive and aggressive. So you will have all this space to fall back to if an enemy is pushing you, and you can react to all kinds of situations. If you are here and an enemy suddenly pushes you, then you can't fall back anywhere. You are just stuck there. And the enemy has a huge positional advantage against you. Yeah, I agree. This is way too static and way too defensive, and also surprisingly static. I wouldn't have expected this kind of gameplay. Okay, he just missed rocket after rocket there. That was bad. Not impressed. Really easy frags all around there, but he just didn't get almost any. So not only is he playing extremely defensively, but he's not even doing that well, at least not in this game. Almost dies there, doesn't dare to go for the Mega. Okay, leaves a pack. That is perhaps for the best if he wants LA to win this one. so unlucky there. Griffin on top of his head when he tried to jump towards Red Mega, and Griffin makes him fall in the lava. Maybe adds to his tilt levels a bit. I don't know if he's a tilty guy. I have a feeling that he might have been a bit, but I'm not sure. Okay, there will be a pack, but Griffin takes care of it. It's hard for me to believe that LA is actually leading this game. Looking at how Dag has been playing, this has been really horrible. But they are. It's a 7-frag game. A second telefrag in a row at center. Not his day, maybe. Or not his round, at least. Because DM3 was definitely his. Okay, now will he get the rocket? No, Nabbe will grab it in front of him. But he does have the nade, so... Now, let's see. He has had great nades before. He hits one of them as well. Griffin doesn't go down yet, but now he actually exchanges frags with Griffin. And Dag gets a pack, but Dakath is there to save him. Or save his team, rather. Dag gets the rocket. Now he should have the low rocket timing. Gets Mega, and will get this red as well. And he should wait for these rockets, maybe. And knowing how LA plays DM2, I would be surprised if he didn't. Hey, let's see. He will pick the rockets up, and what will happen now? Now, this is a super interesting situation, because the enemy has 4 rockets, and Dag is the only rocket in his team. So he needs to make the difference now. Although I think a low rocket was just picked up, and yeah, it was Riker. Okay, thank you, Space, for that. Losing 150 stack. Not optimal, especially because he lost so much of that Mega, but not fully. So now the next Mega is not spawning, and he just lost a lot of stack there. Okay, he's attacking. The timing of this attack is horrible. You just sat at red Mega for who knows how long, and then you decide to attack when the enemy has just picked up the quad. The timing is just all over the place. It just doesn't make any sense. Attack the quad before it spawns, or don't attack at all, or attack when the enemy quad is pushing towards low rocket, and then go to NG through red Mega Tele or something. But just, that is the worst decision you can almost make. Okay, he kills 1 rocket. Doesn't give him much though, because there was no pack. This is very, very interesting to watch, because I was definitely willing to give Dag the benefit of doubt when I just saw the screenshots where he was not doing very well for his team, frag-wise. I was willing to entertain the thought that, okay, maybe he was doing the right things but just had bad luck, or was playing for his team more than for himself. But what I'm seeing here is not really supporting those thoughts. DM3 was good. Efficiency-wise, it was excellent. It was really, really good. Top tier play there. What he actually did there in DM3 didn't look very magnificent, but that being said, good players don't always have to, or excellent players even, don't have to always look kind of flashy. It's good as long as you get stuff done. The other 3 maps that we have seen, not impressive at all. Very mediocre, if not even bad in many situations, like this DM2, and actually the first DM2 that we watched as well. Really, really bad. The E1M2, not impressive in any way. Not absolutely horrendous. Look at this demo. He just picked up the high rocket, and the high rocket is still here. I'm sure it is really not there, but there is just something wrong with this demo. Or my client. I don't know what is causing it, but it's interesting. But yeah, please share your thoughts if you have watched now through some of the maps at least, if not all 4. How does this look in your opinion? Compared to what you would have expected to see, compared to your memories of Dak playing, compared to modern Quake World, compared to anything? Because this is fascinating to me. Because Dag is regarded to be really one of the all-time best players. And no one is mentioning players like Riker, for example, or even especially Space. Space was an excellent CTF player, but I think for a good reason he is not considered to be one of the best DM players. But here we are. Space is at least fragging a lot harder than Dag. Dag is leading only deaths and the inverse scoreboard, if you will. So, and mind you, I had no idea about these three maps that we just watched. The first map score I knew because there was a screenshot available. For these 3 maps against GTG, I had no idea how Dag performed. I just knew that GTG would win 2-1, and that is why I wanted to see this game, because the result was surprising. Yeah, Kuopo, I agree with that fully. That is one of the things that I like to emphasize when I try to teach players how to play 4-4, that you should, whenever you, or at any given moment in any 4-4 game, you should have a plan. You should have an idea what you want to achieve. What is your immediate next goal? Where do you want to go? What do you want to achieve? And in Dak's play here, it seemed very absent. It just seemed, just like you said, planless and random. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. No one is mentioning Griffin's 4-4 skills. Everyone is just remembering that, okay, Griffin was this guy who won some TB3 one-on-one tournaments and was excellent in one-on-one. And he was, definitely. But look at his performance here. Look at his performance in E1M2. He was carrying both maps. At least looking at the scoreboard, we only saw Dak's point of view because that was the point here. But it is interesting that Griffin, he was mentioned. Some people mentioned him when I asked for the top 3 list of best players of all time in Quake World. Some people mentioned him kind of in an afterthought that, oh yeah, there was Griffin, but he was mostly a 1-on-1, 2-on-2 player, but wasn't as good as Dak, for example. But this is fascinating. Gives food for thought, for sure. Was Dak even better than Griffin? I don't know. Yeah, I would gladly watch some other demos if you think that these 2 demos aren't not representative, because I watched 4. I watched the Smackdown 5 Europe semifinal against CMF, the last map DM2 there. And now I watched these 3 maps against the whole game against GTG. I'm just reading your comment here about the DM, DM3. Yeah, I think he played well in DM3. You can't really criticize a player who has a 90% efficiency. And I wouldn't say that he carried his team having watched through his point of view, because he wasn't really effectively helping his team out as much as he was controlling just the red area. Taking quad, sure, but then most of the time going back to red or ring with the quad. So a very interesting way of playing, but like I said, you can't fault him much for that kind of play when he's just not dying. He's surviving and his team is winning, so it's fine. With that being said, the quads should have been left for someone else, though, because he would have been able to achieve the same things at red and at ring, even without the quads. So his team would have done better if someone else had taken the quads. But yeah, that's it. Unfortunately for the stream, I could really spectate or watch more streams, but I really have to go. I have to be somewhere at 1 o'clock, and I have 10 minutes to make it. I have to change my clothes and get going. Thanks for watching. This was interesting, enlightening, and I will be curious to hear your thoughts as well. If this changed your view of DAG in any way, to better or worse, or your view of the other players that we saw on the scoreboard, though, because we were only spectating DAG. But yeah, there might be more in the future. It would be actually interesting to watch some of the TVS demos as well that we played around 2010 or so, when I think that we played in a very different way, at least compared to this LA that we just saw. And yeah, we could check actually some 1-on-1 and 2-on-2 later as well. The interesting thing is, though, that DAG has never won a 2-on-2 tournament, at least according to his wiki. But we could still check how it looks. And 1-on-1, I don't remember much, but I have this kind of image in my head of him being quite passive. Maybe not in DM6 so much, but in tough games against good players, I remember him being quite passive. But yeah, could be interesting. But yeah, I have 9 minutes. I need to go. Thanks for watching. Maybe I will, however, find someone to raid very quickly. I don't know if many players are playing Quake at the moment. Quake Champions. No, we will do something interesting. This doesn't make any sense, but we will go to Forest, a Swedish CS player, just because he's such a nice guy. Or seems to be such a nice guy. I don't know him. But let's go. Maybe someone will come and check Quake from his channel. All right, I will get going. Thanks for watching. See you later.